Daniel sat alone in the dim glow of his small living room. The only light came from a single lamp, flickering softly beside him. Outside, the night was quiet, except for the distant hum of cars and the soft rustling of the wind. He leaned forward, elbows on his knees, hands clasped tightly, as he whispered a prayer he had repeated for months. God, please, just give me a sign. Anything. He had lost his job 8 months earlier, not because of laziness or mistakes, but because the company shut down unexpectedly. Since then, life had taken a hard turn. Bills grew heavier, savings shrank, and every job application felt like another door slamming shut. Daniel wasn't just tired. He was exhausted, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Every morning, he woke up hoping today would be the day everything changes. And every night, he went to bed feeling further from the life he once had. He had always believed God listened, but now, he wasn't so sure. One cold morning, Daniel sat at the kitchen table, staring at another rejection email. The words blurred as his eyes filled with tears. He rested his head in his hands and whispered, "Why? Why aren't you answering me? What am I supposed to do?" Silence, not even a hint of comfort. He looked over at the window. The sky was gray and heavy, as if even the weather reflected his heart. Later that day, he walked to the nearby park to clear his mind. He sat on a bench, watching people pass by, laughing, working, living. Everyone seemed to have direction. Everyone except him. A small boy nearby was struggling to tie his shoelaces. Daniel watched quietly as the boy's father knelt down beside him, gently guiding his hands. "Not like this," the father said softly. "Watch closely. There's a right way to do it." Daniel felt something stir inside him. The father hadn't ignored the boy. He wasn't denying him. He was showing him. In the right moment, he shook his head, brushing the thought away. Maybe he was overthinking. Maybe he was just desperate. The next few days were the same. Applications, rejections, silence. One evening, Daniel visited his mother. Her home felt warm and safe, filled with the scent of tea and old memories. She looked at him with gentle eyes, noticing the heaviness in his expression. "You're troubled," she said quietly. He sighed. "I keep praying, Mum. I keep asking God for answers, but nothing is happening. Why is he hiding everything from me?" She smiled softly, placing a warm hand on his arm. "Sometimes, God hides the answer because you're not ready for it yet. And sometimes, he hides it because the answer itself is still growing." Daniel frowned slightly. "Growing?" She nodded. "Think of a seed. You can't see what's happening underground. You only see the soil. But something is growing beneath the surface. Something you're meant to receive. When the time is right." Her words lingered in his heart long after he left. That night, Daniel lay awake, staring at the ceiling. For the first time in months, he felt something different. A small sense of calm, as if a tiny light flickered in the middle of his long, dark tunnel. Weeks passed. One morning, he received a call from a company he had applied to months earlier. He had forgotten about it entirely. They asked if he could come for an interview that same week. Daniel felt a surge of hope. The interview went well, better than he expected. The office atmosphere felt peaceful, the team kind, and the role almost perfectly aligned with his skills. But deep inside, he was scared to hope again, scared of disappointment. 3 days later, he received the call. He had been chosen. Not only was it a job, it was far better than the one he had lost. Better pay, better environment, better future. As Daniel sat on his bed holding the phone, tears streamed down his face, not from sadness, but from relief, gratitude, understanding. He finally realized why the earlier answers were hidden. If God had given him a job immediately, he might have accepted something temporary, something that didn't align with his purpose, something that would have led to the same struggles all over again. But God wasn't ignoring him. God was aligning the right opportunity, the right people, the right timing. Every rejection, every moment of silence, every painful waiting period had been part of the preparation. Daniel closed his eyes, lifted his face slightly, and whispered, "Thank you. I understand now." The silence had never been empty. It had been full of God's timing. And now, for the first time in a long time, Daniel felt at peace, truly at peace, because he realized that some answers are not delayed, they are perfectly timed. Sometimes God hides the answers not to punish you, but to prepare you. His silence is not absence, it's timing. Trust the process, trust the waiting, and trust that your story is unfolding exactly as it should. Share in the comments, when did God answer you at the right moment, not earlier, not later.